Welcome back, guys. We got Matt, we got Brock. This is the Jock Talk Show podcast. Brock, how are we doing today?
Oh, great as always. How you doing?
Oh, doing pretty good, pretty good. So what we have for you guys today is Mock Draft 2.0. Last
1.0.
two.
1.0 with 1.0 is just the Packers.
That's right. That's right. 1.0 for the Packers. Excuse me, getting ahead of myself. For a video we have coming later on today. 1.0, we are going to do a Packers 7-round mock draft. I think me and Brock, we've done a couple of different full first round mock drafts. We've had some differing opinions. We've went pick for pick as opposed to having to agree on a pick. So I think that's one of the things that are going to be a little bit different here. So anything you got before we hop right into it, Brock?
Just to preface this is what we would do.
Yes, what we would do, not what we think
is going to happen. It's what we would do if we are in this situation. And what we like about this one, we do get trade offers. So if we like a trade offer, we can accept it. If we both agree, I think that's kind of one thing we're going back with is we want to be agreeing on a pick.
Yes.
I know it's going to be hard, some picks, but I think ultimately we will get the Green Bay Packers a bunch of solid picks, and I think let's get right into it.
All right.
Not much to explain.
That's right. So we're going to start the drafting. Obviously, we know that Trevor Lawrence and the QBs are going to start off the draft class. So, Brock, if you had one guy, one target who, possibly could be there, he might drop, or just a guy who you're targeting with this first round pick, who's your guy?
I mean, he just went. Micah Parsons has been highs and low first round. So if he could somehow fall to us, I think it would be a great pick.
Yeah, Ooh. Absolutely. So we got a couple of trade offers here. We have the Vikings offering.
This would never happen.
Let's say that. Two third round picks and a second round pick next year. Obviously, we're going to reject this because
you don't trade inside your division.
Yeah, and it's just
not draft.
Terrible draft capital. So we're going to obviously reject that one. This one is I would do this, but let's go ahead and see what the next.
Yep.
No. So. Honestly, you move back 2 spots to move up 80 spots in the, what would that be, 4th round? So I think we can both agree that we're going to take this.
We're still in the first round. We're missing 2 people, and I think looking at this draft board, I think we will be okay.
Yep.
And then moving up, like you said, 80 picks. That's the big one, honestly. 2 picks.
Right.
2 picks is 80. That's a big one. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and do it. All right, so
there you go.
The Chiefs traded up to get Joseph Asai from Texas, and then an edge rusher who, neither of those 2 picks were the Packers were we ever gonna pick. So this is a win-win, and I think we stick where we're at in the first round.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna reject this. So
it's an interesting trade offer, but I think you got to go here.
Yeah, so I think
a lot of people still on the board.
Yeah. I think the exact way the draft board is lined up right now are the 4 guys who I would consider. So Creed Humphrey with losing Lane Taylor, losing the center. Corey Linsley, there we go, to the Chargers. Tevin Jenkins, who knows how long Bach's going to be out. Caleb Farley was a top 10 projected pick before some of his injury concerns.
For me, I think I would go Tevin Jenkins. I think he's a strong tackle. I know a lot of Green Bay Packers fans are going to be go wide receiver. We will go wide receiver, but I mean, first round wide receivers, it's boom or bust a lot of time.
Let's take a look to see what receivers are available. The top 3: Kadarius Toney, who you're not a huge fan of, Elijah Moore, and Rondelle Moore. So I think it's a little bit rich.
Yeah, I think moving up those 80 spots, I think that would be the reason why I don't go wide receiver here, because you did move up 80 and you will get a solid wide receiver with that. What was it, 98th or 94th pick?
Yeah.
I think that's I would go Tevin or Creed Humphrey. I mean, Farley's a good pick too. It's tough.
I agree ultimately that I think Tevin Jenkins is going to be our pick here. However, my second player would be Caleb Farley.
Yeah.
I think he's the highest potential player left on the board, but I think, like I said, we don't know how long Bach's going to be out. The Packers offensive line that we have now is very versatile in terms of you got some guys who can play center, guard, or tackle. So I think locking up the possibly left tackle for next season, but right tackle of the future, I think is a big win. So I think we definitely agree with the 31st overall pick. In the first round, the Green Bay Packers select Tevin Jenkins, offensive tackle, Oklahoma State.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he ranked in the top 3 or 4 offensive linemen in bench reps, which is huge. Yep. I think he was in that 36 to 38 range, so he's a strong body. And I think learning from Elton and Bach, I mean, that's just great potential right there at 31.
Yeah, I believe he's a young player too, so he's got the time to
babyface
to grow into it.
Absolutely not.
Nope. Not like I said, we don't trade within the division. Looking at the draft board as well, I think there are 2 players who really stick out here.
I think home run pick Rondelle Moore. That's just me. I love what he brings. I think he fits our offense perfectly. And if he somehow falls to 62,
can't pass up.
Not a chance. I do like Jabril Cox, but the need at wide receiver, I think that's a home run pick.
Yeah, not only at wide receiver, but just call him an offensive weapon. He is that kind of player. He's going to line up in the backfield. He's going to return kicks. He's going to return punts. He's going to line up in the slot.
Maybe give us some consistency in the kick return and punt return game would be a nice change of pace. So not only will he help offense, he helps special teams. So he's strong. He can jump. He measured very well in the pro day. So for him, if he somehow fell to 62, I don't see us passing up on him.
Yes, he is. He is small, but he is, like you said, he is strong. And I think Packers fans have a tendency to glorify players, whether for better or for good. Like Tyler Ervin, for example, he's an average player at best for what he was asked to do. And we had an old Tavon Austin, who Packers fans were hopeful would be, West Virginia Tavon Austin.
Yeah.
I think Rondelle Moore is what Packers fans made those 2 out to be. He is the better version of either of those guys. So without a doubt, we'll call him Rondelle Moore, the offensive weapon, a.k.a. wide receiver from Purdue with the 62nd overall pick.
Absolutely.
I think if these 2 picks were to happen as they happened, I'm jumping for joy.
Oh, absolutely.
There's Packers fans could not complain. Like you said, they might try to complain about not getting that wide receiver in the first round. But
he's a first round talent.
Exactly.
Absolutely. In the second round at 62, first round talent, easy. Another guy I'm looking at in realistic or the actual draft is Amari Rodgers.
Yes.
He wants to be a Packer too. So that's what really drew me into watching more film on him. I did see he just went, so no luck for us there, but I think we could find plenty of players, especially now we got 92, 94. It's a good spot to be at right now.
Yeah, so we have the trade offer on the board, the 92nd pick, and I believe 256 would be a seventh rounder.
I think it's the last pick.
For a fourth rounder and a next year's third. I would highly consider this if it was a true mock draft where we're looking extremely towards the future. But I think for this being a this year draft, I'm probably sticking with what we have.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So We got some big names on the board. Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle from Michigan. You know, if we would have went a different direction in round 1, that would be a good consolation pick there. Dylan Moses from Alabama is
Jamar
on the
Johnson. I do like Jamar Johnson out of Indiana. I think he could end up we could end up moving Darnell Savage into that slot position. We know Darnell is a playmaker, and if I remember correctly, Jamar Johnson is more of a hitter coverage guy. So I could see them. I could see Dylan Moses, Jamar Johnson here. But it also looks like we could get both of them if we really wanted to.
So what are you looking at right now in terms of team needs, Brock? What do you think? We got we got offensive line taken care of. Secondary. All right. So let's take a look to see.
Like even Dylan Moses gives me some hope. You know, Trill Williams, not a big fan of. Ambry Thomas, not a big fan of.
There's not really any corners who I would consider with these picks here.
No, not here.
The other thing I would say is defensive line as well. Yep. So I think I agree. Like I said, I think we can get both of them at this point. Looking at team needs, I think we go Dylan Moses here just to make sure that the Bills don't pick him up. The Bills are set at safety, so I can't imagine them going Jamar Johnson. So I think the pick at 92 should be Dylan Moses.
Yeah, I can agree with you there.
All right. So Dylan Moses, linebacker, Alabama, the first of the third round picks for the Green Bay Packers. And then again, just, trading 94 and moving back 30 spots. You do pick up a 4th and a 5th next year, but I think we're going to have to go ahead and reject this trade from the Seahawks.
Yes.
And then the Chiefs just want to keep trading with us for some reason. But again, this is similar to that offer we just got. You move up from 256 to 144. So I guess this depends on how strongly you feel about the safety from Indiana, Brock. Not a bad trade.
It's not a bad trade. I'd be okay with trading it here because, I still like Savage at safety.
Yeah.
I do like him there, and I think picking up also looking forward to the future at picking up another 4th round next year would not be a bad trade. So, if you're for it, I'm for it.
All right, let's go ahead and do it. So we are going to trade out of this here. So it's shaping up to be a really, really good draft. Dylan Moses, again, he's one of those high potential players who, if you looked at him 2 years ago, everybody was touting as a top 10 pick. But between injuries for him and between just him not coming back from it and being more of just that thumper of a linebacker and not necessarily having a ton of instincts, he fell to the 3rd round, which I think is just a steal at that point.
Just want to say Davis Mills to the Vikings, flying up draft boards. I could see it there. No.
Is it because it's the Cowboys?
Yeah.
You move down 3 spots to move up 50.
You know what? Since we have 136, why not?
Let's do it. All right, Packers are wheeling and dealing. There went Trill Williams, who
that's okay there.
All right. There's one guy who I know your mouth is watering.
Yep.
Your eyes are lighting up for. So let's just go ahead and get him. I'm assuming it's right here, 137.
Yes. Jalen Darden, yes, absolutely. But see, here's the thing though. We got Rondelle Moore, who is the same type of wide receiver. So I love him. I'm all for that. But if you see anybody else that you want, I am okay with maybe passing up on him because we got Rondelle Moore.
That's all right. We're gonna go with it.
Keep the weapons. Okay,
that's right. We have 2 picks later, and we're back on the board already.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof. So you got guys like Shi Smith, who I am a big fan of. I think that he's gonna.
also going already 2 wide receivers, how many more do you want to go? You know?
Yeah, I don't think I would draft him at this point, but I think he's going to be
He's someone to watch.
a good pro. There's one guy who's sticking out to me here. He's a little bit down the board, so maybe a little bit of a reach. But the one guy who's sticking out to me is, for right now, Marvin Wilson, defensive tackle from Florida State. He's one of the guys. He's a Goot type of draft pick. Even though we're not drafting for Goot, we're drafting for us. Huge recruit coming out of college. Again, just high potential upside kind of guy. I think we need an upgrade along the defensive line, even if it's just in sub packages. But the defensive line struggled last year outside of Kenny at certain points. Kingsley Kiki did step up, but you can never have enough depth.
Especially how we've kind of been circling through defensive linemen. Did we keep Lancaster or we get rid of Lancaster?
I believe Lancaster was released.
Yes. But we kept Dean. I think that's how it went.
For now, at least, yes.
Yes. So that's what kind of sways me back and forth with picking a D end. I don't mind Shaun Wade this far down. I know early on in the whole draft process, everyone was having him in one of the top 2-3 corners, and he's kind of fallen off.
They have him listed as a safety on Pro Football Network as well.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe that's where he wants to play. If that's the case, I think he could fit at safety a little bit more. This far down, I don't know.
We have 144, and then we're at 138 right now. So I could deal with Shaun Wade. Like I said, I'm big on Marvin Wilson, but I think he'll still be there at 142 and 144. So All right, let's go ahead and make the pick. Shaun Wade, Ohio State defensive back, is the.
For him, I think it's like boom or bust. And being here in the 3rd round or 4th round, I think it's you get what you get. Then if he's not good, he's gone. I see him kind of being like that Kevin King type player. It's like he has it, just can you produce? So adding him to a secondary, which is young and emerging, could be very helpful. And you could learn from Amos, Savage, Jair, the good ones.
Yeah.
and see what happens. So I could see this pick being pretty good.
Yeah, so there's just scrolling down here to see who's available. There's a couple of people who, maybe a little bit early for them, but I'm always seeing mock to the Packers. Kerry Vincent, the
one of my top
LSU
5
DB, and then other guys like we've already drafted 2 receivers, but Daz Newsome from UNC, I've seen mock to him a lot.
Robert Hainsey as well, that guard.
Benjamin St. Just, the DB from Minnesota.
I'm not sold on him yet.
He's the biggest guy who I keep seeing mock to the Packers, similarly to last year where, you and I were doing mocks and it was always, John Runyon Jr. just every single time just happened to end up on our team. And, he played well in short stints last year. So end of the 4th round, Brock, any of these guys sticking out? Is anybody sticking out as a good value, or a guy who you're wanting to go up and target, even if it may be considered a reach, looking at it from the outside?
I mean, we could go edge rusher. I know we got a couple in there. I wouldn't go Deo, but I would probably.
Deo.
Let me see.
Here, we'll sort it.
Yeah.
Here, so sorted by edge rusher.
I do like Shakatoni.
I do as well. I think it's a little early.
Yeah.
But,
what we got? What's our next pick?
Not until 173. So
I could see him falling to around that. So I'm okay with going. Who's your D tackle that you want?
Marvin Wilson from Florida State.
I'm okay there.
All right.
With that.
So let's go ahead and make the pick, and then we're up in 2 picks again anyway.
Yep.
So at 142, the Packers get Marvin Wilson. We're gonna reject this trade because F the Vikings.
Yep.
Keeping it PG-13 this time. F them. So back at 144, going back looking at that edge again. You can never have too many pass rushers.
No.
Are you looking at Shaka Toney being the not necessarily the best, but your favorite pass rusher available?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
We will go ahead and
I think his upside is top tier.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people that was Jason Owe. But anyways, I do like him. I think his upside could be potential Pro Bowl caliber, and that's all we really need at this point to help that D line. Depth, especially. You learn from Za'Darius, you learn from Kenny, or whoever you want to learn
less
from.
Than 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oof.
So there was an interview with him the other day, and they were asking him who he likes to model his game after, and it's one of those where it's a good answer. He doesn't like to model just after one player, just because whether you're looking at setting the edge or just actually just pinning your ears back and rushing the passer. But for him, and you couldn't have had a better answer than this because they're probably the 2 best at what they do. But Aaron Donald and Von Miller. Aaron Donald, not just because he's a beast at everything, but just his hand usage specifically, and then Von Miller, he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the fastest, but he just relentless motor, gets the job done kind of thing. So
what do you think about this trade? If you want to stockpile picks, I'm all for it, because if you want more players this year, I'm all for it. But I'm how many picks do you really need this late?
I don't think this is the year that the Packers they're looking to stockpile. I think
we traded a lot already. I wouldn't do it.
I agree. All right, so go back to all positions. So top player on the board is a tight end. It's one of the positions that I feel 100% comfortable in saying the Packers will not draft a single tight end. I could see them going after a running back. They have a top 2 right now. I could see them going after just a pure scat back type. Just
Kylan Hill.
Yeah, you have
Puka Williams. We like.
I think it's a little bit early for it this time, but I could see them going after a late round running back. But
right here though, it's I do like a handful of players here, which makes it interesting, because I do like. Scroll up just a little. Josh Palmer, I think, would be a good pick, but we already have 2 wide receivers, so it's kind of like, don't mind Van Lanen down this far.
Lanen.
Shakur Brown wouldn't be a bad choice here, but right now we're kind of just going depth.
Yep.
Hainsey I think, would be a good solid pick there. Daz Newsome would be a good pick. There's a handful.
I mean,
Kerry Vincent's still there. Frank Darby is a interesting prospect.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of. I'm a William King, whatever his edge rusher from, was it App State, I believe his name. I like him. Yep, right there. Go back up to defense. It was just defense.
There we go.
Yeah, I do like him. Maybe early, but I do like him. And same with Shmarjine Charles out of App State. I do like both of them. I think they just haven't got that recognition at App State because, they were a good team this year. I saw them firsthand against UNC Charlotte. They're a good, solid team, and they got a couple good players over there. Which in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, I know they work. Those smaller schools, they will work once they get there, and it's just if they develop.
Yeah, I think personally at this point, you mentioned Robert Hainsey from Notre Dame, or I don't mind Landon Young from Kentucky, but I think the Robert Hainsey addressing the interior of the offensive line, again, it's something where you can never, and we've seen this in the playoffs, you can never have too many quality, or, we didn't have it last year.
Potential quality.
Yes, too many quality offensive linemen. So
I mean, just look at what happened to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They got their both tackles gone, and it was an absolute shit show after that. Oh, sorry. It was
PG-17.
All the poop.
Yeah,
all
there you
the
go.
crap.
Yeah. So I think for me, the pick would be Robert Hainsey, lineman from Notre Dame.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Make the pick here. There goes the couple of guys who you like there between Josh Palmer, Cole Van Lanen, Benjamin St. Just. So back on the board. This is one of those where, again, you're just looking kind of at depth. So are you taking at this point the risk on a high upside guy like a Kerry Vincent or a Frank Darby, even though we've addressed DBs and wide receivers? Or are you going somewhere else? Or what do you think with this pick, Brock?
For me, I'm a defensive guy, and the weakness for the Green Bay Packers has been corner and secondary and even linebackers. I'm not confident with linebackers down this far. I don't know enough about a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
I would say probably that Patty Fisher could be a decent guy. He doesn't have the explosiveness that I want.
He's a special team kind of run down the field, meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, like if he's there in the 7th round, I'm all for taking him.
Or priority free agent.
Yeah.
Richard LeCounte from Georgia. Otherwise, like you said, you got Shakur Brown. We got the Kerry Vincent.
See, as a fan of Kerry Vincent, I would go Kerry Vincent. I think he has a tremendous upside. Speed, hands, ball skills, I think he's one of the more underrated players. I think he's more around that 3-4 range, 3rd, 4th pick anyways, or round anyways, but to get him here I think is a steal.
All right. So we have a little bit of a wait here.
About time.
Yes, between picks. Like you said, we, the GMs, not Goot, the GM, wheeling and dealing so far in the draft. We traded back in the first round. Yeah. Exactly. Traded back in the first round, 2 picks and picked up, I think it was a third that we picked up or a third or a fourth that we just would have used for that. So it's one of those, there goes Frank Darby to the Kansas City Chiefs, like you mentioned, just kind of a project player. There goes one of my favorite players in the draft who I was hoping would have fallen a little bit more, Javion Hawkins to the Rams. We mentioned, he'd been that perfect scat back roll kind of guy. So that's where I want to start off and look. We're
running back.
Look at the running backs just to kind of see what's available.
I think we both need to pause real quick and think about punter.
Punter and kicker.
Because how many picks we got left? Because I know, is there one in between here and the last one? I don't think so. I think it's this and 256 or.
No, it looks like we traded out of round 7 actually. So this is Green Bay Packer, Mr. Irrelevant, actually.
I think we did trade that 7th round.
We did. So this is our last pick. So let's go look at specialty. I
can't say I know a lot about them.
No. These names do not look real. They look like Madden generated, like Presley Harvin. Is that Percy Harvin's grandson? Oscar Dragovich, like Zach Von Rosenberg. That just doesn't even sound like they sound made up. Drew Christman, Jose Joe
Boar Eagles.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Bo
Maybe not.
So,
okay, look at.
I think here
I like Puka. I mean, I know Larry Roundtree is a pretty decent pick, I think, right there too.
Take a look.
I think wide receivers. I think we're good there.
If we take a
Ian Book.
replacement. Oh, yeah, no.
No, I don't. I don't like any of those guys.
Let's
Just
not do
pretend we
that.
never looked at that.
Yes. So again, this is a what would we do kind of thing.
Jake Funk.
He's a fullback. Um,
Hey, with a name like Funk, you got to do something, guys. I'm all for Larry Roundtree or Puka.
Puka is one of my favorite players in the draft. Not that he's going to be one of the best players, but just what he does with and what he has done in the body of work. It's one of those where you can't go wrong with it kind of pick. It's a late sixth rounder. If it doesn't work out, oh well. If it works out good, you have a scat back who's going to have 35 catches a year and he'll be good for a couple of games if Aaron Jones goes down or, hopefully it doesn't come down to Aaron Jones and a Puka Williams combo. But I think we can both agree we're going to go with the running back out of Kansas, Puka Williams, as our first overall or last overall pick, first overall pick. So
if we went Puka in the first round, I think we probably should never make a draft again.
Nope. That would not have gone over well on the old Twitter machine.
No machine.
Nope. Twitter's very understanding from what I hear. They don't like to jump down your throat about anything.
No, they're usually pretty happy with what everybody has to say about certain picks, especially if it's the Packers drafting not wide receiver. In the first round like us. But I think looking back, I mean, we're now just finishing up this draft. Browns pick just saying, Michelle. Looking back at this draft, I love this.
Yep.
I am very pleased with this. Tevin Jenkins, trading down 2 picks to get him. Perfect. Yep. Get Rondelle Moore. Love it. Dylan Moses fits a need. Jalen Darden, one of my favorites. Sean Wade, like we said, boom or bust.
Yep.
Marvin Wilson.
High potential. Yep.
Potential. A lot of playmakers. Not just one-dimensional players. Like there is players that I like, but it's like they need to work on other things to get better. These guys, they move around the field. Like Sean Wade, just for instance, they have him listed as a safety. I have always seen him as a corner. So maybe it's certain things that they don't that they actually want to play in the NFL or whatever. But looking at that, I am pleased, thoroughly
plus a fourth round pick out of it as well. So
let's take a look at this first round, see how they did, because sometimes they mess it up.
This is going to look awfully similar to mock draft 2.0 for us with 4 quarterbacks going in a row.
I think that's everybody's kind of.
Yep.
Jamar Chase the line. It looks a very similar to what we picked, except Mac Jones. Yep, there's the football team trading up.
Yep, the Cardinals trading up for Jalen Waddle.
I don't know about that one.
That's
Greg Newsome. Giants trading up.
The Eagles getting Micah Parsons at 19
might be the biggest steal of the draft.
The best pick in the first round, and then 2 picks later, Najee Harris to the Colts in the first round.
A hell of a 1-2 punch, but it's probably not going to ever happen.
That might be the worst pick in the first round.
What do you pay to the Steelers? That's an interesting
Bud Dupree. Yep,
interesting pick. ETN.
Caleb Farley went with the 32nd pick to the Buccaneers. So, so that's going to do it. Yes. Go ahead.
I like this draft. I think we did very well. Let us know what you think, where we may have went wrong in your eyes. I don't see anything wrong in this draft, to be honest. This might be one of my favorite drafts that for at least just the Packers that we've done. Hit a lot of needs, a lot of potential here. A couple of boom or bust type picks, but it's the draft. But looking through this, really, really enjoy it. Really enjoy this one.
I think a big thing, and obviously time is going to be the only thing that tells how we did. But looking after our picks, there's no time where we we took a chance on someone hoping that someone else would fall. Like there's no point in time at all where we took Rondelle Moore in the second round. It's not like oh look who got picked 4 picks after. It's a waste of a pick. But the Minnesota Vikings look like they had a terrible draft just going through this. So Davis Mills here at 119. They also had the Vikings picking Kellen Mond, I think, in the late second round. So, again, you look at Jalen Darden and Sean Wade, 2 out of 3 picks. It's not going to get much better than that. And then Marvin Wilson, Shaka Toney, those are 4 guys who, none of them may start for the Packers
right away,
but they're all going to have impact as a rookie and going forward. So,
a lot of these guys could easily play special teams too. I think Darden could play special teams. I mean, I think he could, instead of having Rondelle Moore in the special teams, maybe Jalen Darden. He is a speedster, shifty, quick twitch is what they like to call him, and there's playmakers. There's a lot of playmakers. The ball hawks are just around the ball. It's just learning how to play football in the NFL, obviously. Just the learning curve from some of these players to see how they develop and how quickly they can adapt to the NFL game. So, but with all this potential that we have, and new defensive coordinator, new special teams coordinator, so there's a lot of things that could happen. If this was the draft that we got, I think Packers fans should be through the moon.
Absolutely. So let us know on the old Twitter machine. We'll get this posted on YouTube. Obviously, let us know how we did. Rate us 1 through 10. What would you have done differently? Would you have accepted some of the trades that we rejected? Would you have stayed put in the first round? I don't know how you can say yes to that with the outcome. Obviously, run your own mock drafts. Your results are going to be different from ours. There's not going to be 4 quarterbacks that go top 4 in every single mock draft. Brock and I prefer using Pro Football Network mock draft. It runs seamlessly. The rankings they have updated, which make a little bit more sense. So otherwise, take a look, follow us on the old Twitter machine, like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere where you get your social medias. And then, like I said, just let us know how we did. Let us know who some of your favorite draft targets are for the Packers or whoever your favorite team is. Brock, what else?
We're 11 days out from the draft. So not too much is going to change, I wouldn't think, with free agency and whatnot. But just this is one of our favorite times of the year. So us finally wrapping up and kind of getting our final predictions. Maybe we do one more. I don't know. I'm all for doing maybe more Packers drafts just because I seem to, in our mock drafts, try to stay away from certain players that I want at the Packers pick, doing that the first round. But I'm guilty of that. I know you're guilty of that. So just maybe we go through one more mock draft simulator just to see what we can get, because obviously every simulation is different. We aren't going to get these same players, but same value, or see what value we can get where and whatnot. So yeah. That being said, guys, how we end all these shows, at least the Packers portion of the shows. Matt, you ready for it?
Oh, ready as always, bud.
All right.
We always like to end it with a go Pack, go.
I think it was pretty good.
I don't know. It's tough.